Good rising, brethren. This is Big Judah coming to you guys from California. Before I begin, give all praise to the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. I pray that the Most High blesses this lesson this morning, gives more knowledge and understanding of the events of the past in order to understand events that are currently happening on the earth. So we get a much better understanding of the things that are soon to come on the earth. Brethren, a brother sent me this video and I wanted to share it with the family. It's a very important, and it just lets you know that the Gentiles have no way of interpreting prophecy. See, they are mixed. They have a dilemma. Their dilemma is this: they are the ones who are executing many of the different situations or events in prophecy. And in fact, they've already fulfilled most of these different events in prophecy. So their dilemma is to make people believe that these things that they've already fulfilled in prophecy are things that are going to happen in the future. Now they've also employed some people, some of our own nation, to push the same thing, to push these prophecies being fulfilled in the future. They push them in their colleges and their seminaries. They push them in their churches. And then when people got wise to, the churches lying to everyone, they pushed it in the awakening of our people as well. So I noticed that when I first came into the truth, it was like, hold on, this prophecy sounds like they're trying to make it fit, the prophecies of the Hebrew Israelites. As soon as I came into the truth, it sounded just like the same prophecies of the church. And when I first started studying, I was always trying to make things still fit into the prophecies of the church, until you realize later on that there's no way that that's possible, because the Gentiles have never been given, they've never been given the blessing of being able to break down these scriptures the way the Most High's chosen people can. And now we're realizing that they have spread their message all over the earth. So they're always pushing like these horses. The different horses of the apocalypse are all things that are going to happen in the future. The death and destruction that they're going to bring are things that are going to happen in the future. The chip, or people having to make the decision, to follow the society and the new world order, was all part of biblical prophecy, not knowing that these things have already happened in the past. See, people make it seem like it had to have been a chip. It has to be some kind of a microchip that goes inside of you. When the Most High has already decided who was going to get marked and who wasn't, who was marked to follow him and who wasn't. This brother sent me this video, and I want you guys to listen to it because it talks about the mark of the beast and how it's happened a long time ago. I'll leave the link in the description box. Okay, but you can see the title of it right there for the video. Hidden Hebrews, the Dark Ages Banishment. Okay, and I'll definitely leave the link in the description box so you guys can go check it out, because I'm sure the whole video has a lot of good information. I've only checked out this one section, but we're going to list about a minute of it. But you're going to see that we've already been going through the chipping or the mark, and that you had to accept, a certain organization in order to be able to participate in that organization. And really that goes back to, I've done videos on the Shepherd of Hermas, and how, you live in a certain kingdom and you have to follow the rules of that kingdom. And if you don't follow those rules of the kingdom, he has the ability to kick you out of his system. That's in the Shepherd of Hermas. I've done a video on that a long time ago. Same here. You have to accept the terms of this society. And that's been going on since they've taken over. But see, they make it seem as if this is something that's going to happen now with the vaccine. If you don't take the vaccine, they're going to take everything away from you. and you're not going to be able to buy or sell unless you take a chip. These things have already been happening. Everything just repeats itself over and over again. But let's listen to this really fast, okay? It's only like a minute clip, okay?
St. Thomas, that so they might be better used to the air, that the said king sold all those Jews for slaves that refused to embrace the Roman religion, and caused their children to be baptized, from whom, coming thither in great numbers, most of the present inhabitants were descended. So according to John Ogilvy of London, the children of the Jews that refused to embrace the Roman religion were placed on the west coast of Africa in great numbers, most of which the present inhabitants were descended. In being baptized, a mark was placed on their hands and on their foreheads. As we read, the cardinals that was to obfuscate being come with the canons of that church. The ceremony was begun with blessing the water. After the proselytes, presented by their godfathers, advanced everyone in his turn and declared their desire to be baptized. Then they leaned over the front. The cardinal baptized them, pouring water on their foreheads out of a large silver spoon, and gave them their names.
Okay, so they've ceased to be who they were before and were given new names, new Christian names, new anglicized names, new Latinized names. You see, it could just be a symbol. You know, they got to understand that our scriptures have been, you know, infiltrated and changed, and so they make it seem like you got to do it a certain way. But taking a mark is also like just making a covenant, making an agreement. You've been marked. You're part of that system now. Now, see, they've been doing these things through the Inquisition. They've been fulfilling these prophecies through their actions. You know, we talked about this now for quite a while, and I haven't seen anyone try to explain Revelation chapter 6, okay, verse 8. Now, we already talked about how this has already been fulfilled. This was fulfilled when the Europeans stepped foot over here in the fourth part. Let's take a look at that again. Revelation 6 and 8. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth, to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. They used the horses, they used the dogs, they destroyed our people. This was fulfilled already in the 1400s, 1492, and on. Are they going to find a new fourth part in the future? Is that what they're telling you? See, no one's come up with another explanation. I haven't seen anybody doing any other videos saying, you know, well, no, that's not right. This is the best, you know, this is how it's going to happen in the future. Show me another fourth part that is not, you know, that the Most High has kept people from. And again, apparently he's going to give power over the earth, you know, to kill with sword and with hunger. He's already killed everything. He's already went and destroyed everything. This is why, you know, people keep talking about Jacob's trouble beginning. And I'm like, okay, well, what was all this then? What were all these things that happened to our people before? That wasn't Jacob's trouble back then. So then Jacob's trouble is coming. Explain that. This right here showing you talking about baptism and having to take a mark on your head, on your forehead. And you have to be able to, in order to be able to buy and sell, you have to be part of their system. What would happen if you were not part of their system? They would excommunicate you, or they would kill you. You would not be allowed to participate in their system if you do not agree, okay, to what they said. That just shows you what where we are. Their whole aim with prophecy and everything else is to make it seem like it's something that's going to happen in the future. I would love for them to explain what was all the stuff that's happened in the last 500 years. That has nothing to do with prophecy. The death and destruction of the Most High's chosen people, the taking away of their lands, the taking away of their knowledge and understanding, that has nothing to do with prophecy. This is all something supposed to happen in the future. And you get a lot of these groups who are out here pushing the same stuff, same things as these Christian churches. They're still pushing the mark of the beast coming in the future. They're still pushing, a lot of the stuff in Revelation happening in the future. You don't hear about them talking about how these things already happened, how we've already been marked, how he's marked, people for to participate in his system. He had that right when he was in charge, because the earth was given into the hands of the wicked. So he already had, the opportunity to force us into accepting his mark, to accepting, the things that he wanted us to accept. And see, now they are trying to make it seem like they get an opportunity to do all this all over again. And the only way you can act like that is if you ignore all of their previous actions, and that's not going to happen. Here, I'm looking here really fast. I just got to grab my book. I'm going to find the part about Shepherd of Hermas. Here we go. Happen to be in my office, so I can check it out real fast. I'm going to read you guys from the Shepherd of Hermas. This is in the Lost Scriptures book, okay? Books that did not make it into the New Testament, by Ehram, Ehrman. Bart D. Ehram, Ehrman. Now see, the Most High gave the wicked control of the earth. So therefore, he's already been marking us to participate in his system. Now that his system is done, he wants to make it sound like he's going to restart his system all over again. Then he's going to institute Jacob's trouble all over again. He's going to be able to rape, rob, murder, and steal all over again. And they say it's the elites that want to do all these things. That's not the plan. That's not what's going to happen. They've already gotten their blessing. They think their blessing is going to continue. And it's not. So let's read Shepherd of Hermas. If you have the book, it's on page 269. We'll start from the beginning. He said to me, "You know that you slaves of God are living in a foreign land. For your own city is a long way from this one." So we're living in a foreign land. We've been living under their system. Okay. If then he said, "You know your own city, where you are about to live, why are you preparing fields, expensive furnishings, buildings, and pointless rooms for yourselves here?" And that's what happened. Why are you worried about things here? Things here don't matter if you know that your land is far away. Okay? It says, "Anyone who prepares these things in this city, therefore cannot return to his own city." So if you're a 2/3 and all you care about are the things of this city, the things here, you can't go back to the other city, to your original city. Okay, verse 3. "You foolish, double-minded, and miserable person, do you not understand that all these things belong to another and are under someone else's control?" See, all the things you see here in this world have been given to another, have been given to the wicked. Okay? Again, "You foolish, double-minded, and miserable person, do you not understand that all these things belong to another and are under another person's control? For the ruler of this city will say, 'I do not want you living in my city. Leave it, because you are not living by my laws.' Now, see, and that's what the whole baptism, that's all taking the mark right there. That's all getting, if you want to be in his system, you've got to take his mark, and he pushed that also through baptism through the Church of Mahan. So again, he says, I do not want you living in my city. Leave it, because you are not living by my laws. And then he ended up, if you listen to the first part, any of the people who did not want to get baptized and follow his rules, he forced them out onto the west coast of Africa. Okay. 4. And so you who have fields and houses and many other possessions, when he casts you out, what will you do with your field and house and whatever else you have prepared for yourself? For the ruler of this country rightly says to you, either live by my laws or leave my country. And that's another reason why we have not been able to fully enjoy this system. The laws have been set up against us because they know that we are not for their turn. So see, they've been able now, if this was something that wasn't happening before and it's about to happen in the future, okay, then I would say, you know what? Jacob's trouble is coming, because we haven't dealt with this, with all this death and destruction. But see, we've been dealing with it for hundreds of years. So just because someone wants to ignore it, says you're playing right into the hands of the wicked. That's what they want. The wicked wants another turn. The wicked wants more years. Wicked wants more years of us at the bottom and them at the top. So therefore, if that's what they want and that's what they really yearn for and that's all that they know, they're going to make their prophecies fit that script. You don't hear them ever saying, you know what? We've already had our blessing. You know what? We've had the children of Israel under our thumb and been destroying them for the last 500 years. You don't hear any of that. All they do is just ignore that fact, because that does not benefit them. So people keep on talking about Jacob's trouble. I said, when is Esau's trouble? Has Esau's trouble been going on for the last 400 to 500 years? And just because, see, they're really slick to put Jacob's trouble in the Bible. When do you hear about Esau's trouble? Edomites aren't going to go through trouble. The wicked aren't going to go through trouble. The Gentiles who have been aligned with him aren't going to go through trouble. See, they don't talk about that. So their prophecies that they've set up don't deal with that. Now, see, us as the Most High's chosen people, as we've been enlightened and anointed to actually get this information. Now we're the ones talking about that part of the Bible that they're not talking about. They're not talking about how they've already been blessed to come to the fourth part and destroy our people. I would love to hear them break down those scriptures and back that up as precepts. How that's going to happen in the future. How it's not happened already in the past. And if you look here, and if you just listen here, parable, it's parable 50, okay? And it says that, remember, let's read 4 again. And so you who have fields and houses and many other possessions, when he casts you out, talking about the evil ones, the wicked ones casting you out, what will you do with your field and house and whatever else you have prepared for yourself? For the ruler of this country rightly says to you, either live by my laws or leave my country. And his laws also talks about his breakdown of prophecy. See, they want you to make sure you break down everything the way they've said it, the way that they've broken it down. You can't go against that's why that's why now I see why so many groups want to have debates with these white scholars, with vocab Malones and Dr. James White and whatever other Christian groups they can get out there. And they want to have debates about, the Bible. The debate should be, when did you guys, or who are the ones that have been going through the destruction for the last 400 to 500 years? Do those people fit scripture? Now, if they've already gone through, if they're Jacob and they've gone through Jacob's trouble, whose trouble's coming next? You see? That's what's going on right now, as we're talking about whose trouble is coming now. Who's been going through death and destruction, and whose turn is it now to go through, these times that are coming now in the future? Who are the ones that could say either live by my laws or leave my country? Who's been the one that's been running all the countries? Who's been the one that has been destroying the world? Who's been the one that's had the authority to kick people out or to make laws against certain groups of people? You see, that's what's going on right now. Either it's their prophecy, which is everything's about to happen in the future, and nothing's been going on. I guess to them, nothing has been going on for the last 400 to 500 years. None of their actions has anything to do with the Bible. Or it's the way we've been saying it is now, that we've been the ones going through the curses for the last 400 to 500 years, and now the curses are switching on them. Both of us cannot be right. When you're talking about right here, talking about these marks that were on their foreheads when they were getting baptized, like those crosses that they get when they're getting, baptized. When they get baptized, then they can participate in this world system. You see, we have not been able to participate in the system because we've always been on the outside. There's no way that we could partake. Well, we could, but then we would not be able to go back to our homeland. So the 2/3 who have taken the bag and still to this day are still loving the system and supporting Esau and the Gentiles. This shows you how they've taken that agreement and they can't go back to their homeland. They cannot go back to the way things are about to be switched back to the way the Most High had it set up in the first place. So this is talking to you here again about how if we've been fulfilling prophecy for the last 400 to 500 years, going through these curses, where does it say we're going to go through these curses again for another 400 to 500 years? Where are these Gentiles going to go find another fourth part so they can go and destroy again? So we can find many times in the past 400 or 500 years that they have fulfilled prophecy. In many of these history books, you can see how they've been fulfilling prophecy. Something to think about. And now at the end, the Most High is now giving us our knowledge and understanding back. Why would he be giving us this knowledge and understanding again? So that we can just go right back into Jacob's trouble once more. He's destroying their system because they've had their time. They've been able to rewrite history, rewrite prophecy, change prophecy to benefit them. And now we're able to see right through it. But if we're about to go right back into slavery again, why do that? Why open our eyes just so we can go through some more destruction? The only people that think that way are the wicked, because the wicked cannot believe or don't want to believe that their time is up. They want to believe that they're going to get a renewal. And their renewal means us going back into slavery, us going back to the bottom, and them going back on top. But that's not going to happen. The Most High is not going to let that happen because that was never part of the plan. That might be part of the plan for the Gentiles, but it's not part of the plan for the Most High. So any of these people who seem to be coming around here scoffing once in a while, please explain to me how we're going to go through Jacob's trouble once again when we've already been going through it for the last 500 years. Please break down that Revelation 6. Okay? 6 and 8. Show me the next fourth part that the Gentiles are going to take over and rape, rob, and murder again. You keep saying that he's going to that he's going to get an opportunity to vaccinate everybody and then force that chip and then, I don't know, destroy everything all over again. I was listening to a video yesterday. It was a really good one from Lisa Cabrera talking about the events of like 1918 and the flu. And how everything is kind of following the exact same pattern. She was reading a lot about how they were handling Thanksgiving in the middle of a pandemic, and you had like a lot of people who did not want to self-quarantine, and they wanted to, go out and still do the same things that they've always done and everything else. But what I found very intriguing was their vaccine back then in 1918. I want to say it was in the same month of December. is following it to the T. That this vaccine came out, but the vaccine was ineffective. So fast forward to today. Now we got all of a sudden, you got some new vaccines that are 95%, 90% effective, and this, and that. And Lisa made some great points, and I thought the same thing. How is it that you have a flu vaccine that's maybe 40 to 50% accurate, effective, and you've been working on that for how many decades? But somehow in a few months, you came up with a 90 to 95% effective vaccine. Well, in her video, the vaccine in the 1918 wasn't effective, and in the Spanish flu at that time just went crazy after that with third wave, and it was just destroying the nation and killing many, many people. Well, you can kind of see the same thing setting up now with the plague, and people actually thinking about I think a lot of people seem to think that this vaccine is going to save them, because they really don't care anyways, and they're just running out and doing whatever it is they want to do anyways. But they were talking about how after Thanksgiving that it just jumped up so much more. Well, it looks like that's what's going to happen again, quite possibly. We got all these people traveling, millions and millions of people traveling and everything else, but it just seemed to follow the exact same pattern. And there's nothing new under the sun. Things just continue to repeat themselves. But the difference between the Spanish flu of 1918 and now is as we finished up our 400 years. And how the Most High works a lot of things is the second is usually the most powerful. Okay, so just like with the children, you had Esau, and you had Jacob, the chosen one. Okay, Saul and David, as far as kingships, you start doing like some more. Cain and Abel, the second one was the one that was chosen. So you had your Spanish flu of about 100 years ago, and now you got the new plague coming right now. So sounds like, and this is going to be more powerful. You got way more people, right now. You got way more people in the world, that are susceptible to this, and we've also come to the end. We've come to the end of the 400 years. All of these things are following. You had things started in March back in 1918. They started in March here in 2019, and we're following the same pattern because there's nothing new under the sun. But see, these guys right here, they want to make it seem as if they haven't had their blessing, and that they're going to get their blessing coming here in the future. They think their second blessing is going to be greater than their first. But the second blessing is not for them. Just like Esau had his time first, he was the firstborn. He had his blessing. Now the Most High is going to give the better blessing, the best blessing, to Jacob. That's what's going on right now. Is the Most High is transferring the blessing from Esau to Jacob. Let me get that real fast. I'm going to read something else here real fast. That's what's going on right now. So yeah, they had their chance. They went through their flus. People are like, they think it's going to be exactly the same as it was before, but it's not. They think it's just going to go away, and they're going to resume life as normal. That's not what's going to happen. They had, I said they had their blessing first. It was the weaker of the two. As you can see, they've weakened the earth with the way that they've destroyed, the way they've taken care of it. Animals crying out, the earth is crying out, the people are crying out because no one is happy. So now the best blessing is coming is when the Most High puts his people back on top. So go to 2nd Esdras 6 and 9. For Esau is the end of the world. Yes, Esau, you are the end of the world. Your blessing stops now. You don't get another one. And anybody pushing this Jacob's trouble BS going forward, you're part of the same thing that Esau set up. Esau makes it seem as if he gets another blessing. He gets to be blessed again. He got the 400 to 500 year blessing at first from when Columbus got here till now, And he seems to think that he's going to be able to destroy everything on his own. Like people love to say, he's just the elite to just destroy everything so they can just come back again and restart everything again. No, that's not what the Bible says. That's not what the scripture says. He had his blessing. He already gave us Jacob's trouble. Now it's going to be a switch to his trouble. 2nd Esdras 6 and 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So we've come to the end of the world of Esau, coming to the end of the world of Esau and the Gentiles, and all of the Hebrews who have been aligned with him. We are now at the at the footsteps right there at the door at the end of this. Now the switch is beginning, and he wants to make it seem as if he gets a lifeline. He gets to do it all over again. But see, 2nd Esdras 6 and 9 says, for Esau is the end of the world. They are at the end of the age of Esau. So does Esau get another time? Let's see. And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Jacob is being raised up right now. Jacob is being given his history back again. Jacob is being given, the information that it was given to him in the first place. Jacob is going to be given the world again. Jacob is going to be put on top. Not Esau for a second time. Jacob. So if you can find me that, if you please run those verses by me where it says that Esau gets a second chance. I would love to see those. Because if you can't show that, then you can't be talking about Jacob's trouble again. This second wave of the plague is going to be far worse, because that's how the Most High has done it with many times, most of the time, with the second born, with second events. So this is the second plague of the last 100 years. You think it's going to be the same as the first? It might go the same as far as a timeline, but as far as severity, I'm sure this is going to be much worse. It already is. Now the Most High, like I said, is awakened his people and given us much more knowledge and understanding. And many people are now being brought to the truth. I know that many people are hearing the truth from many of us, because now all the dainties of life have been taken away. The status that they've had with their money and prestige has been taken away. Truths are being brought out. Truths that they cannot contend with. Truths that they cannot, answer. Because there's never been any truth in them. So this world, like I said, it's against Shepherd of Hermas, was given to them, and they could run it as they pleased. In order to be part of it, you needed to be baptized. You needed to be part of their system. And now that system is crumbling right before their eyes. Be on the lookout for more videos later on, brethren. All praise is to the Most High, Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother. Who is wisdom? Who is the Holy Spirit? Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. Shalom.